Okay, welcome back. So now that we got the all products section all done and all understood, I'm moving on now to the transfers. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on this, but I just want to make you aware of the possibilities within Shopify. So what are transfers? Well, basically we're going to buy stuff from our suppliers. So we're going to put in a purchase order of some kind, and then our supplier is going to ship it to us, and then we're going to monitor that. And we can do all of that within the transfers section. So just to demonstrate what that would look like, let's click on Add Transfer. And it brings up this nice editor. So let's just, for example, imagine that one of our products was running low on stock. And we wanted to make another transfer. So what we would do is go into Products, click on Browse Products, go to All Products, and let's imagine it was our super cute dog pendant for every Chihuahua lover. So we'll add that to the transfer. Now we want to specify a quantity. So let's say things were going crazy and we needed a ton of them. So let's say we wanted 500. Okay. Then what we can do is associate a particular supplier. Now I put in a supplier just before, just to make life a little bit easier. So when I click on here, one of my suppliers is Supplier Test, which was just a very simple supplier. As you can see, I just put in Supplier Test and no other details. But you get the idea, of course. We got the name and the address and everything to do with where our supplier is based. So if I cancel that, of course, at any time I can also change my supplier by clicking on Change Origin. Then down here, I can specify when the shipment is supposed to arrive. So let's just randomly click a date. I can also add a tracking number, because when they ship something to us, typically there'll be a tracking number associated with it, so we can keep an eye on where it is at any time. So if I were to click on Add Tracking Number, let's imagine that they've given us a tracking number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. They might also have given us a website so that we can keep an eye on things. And let's just imagine that we also have a shipping carrier, one of these. You probably recognize some of these. And let's just take FedEx for the sake of example. So we'll click on Add Tracking Number. And then at the bottom here, we can also add in a reference number and tag the transfer. So let's just click on Save Transfer. And then it brings up this screen where we can basically keep an eye on everything to do with our transfer. And if I just scroll down a bit, you can see also that we have this timeline. Okay, so you created this transfer just now. So now let's imagine that we get those items. Let's imagine that the shipment comes in. So we click on Receive Items. And although we asked for 500, in fact, only 490 of them were any good because the rest were all broken. All right, just for the sake of example. So we'll click on Save. And our screen updates to show effectively that we've accepted 490 of our 500 items. Now we're not going to get the remaining 10 in my example here. So let's just click on Mark as Complete. And then we get some various options, but I'm going to reject the remaining items, as you can see here, and just simply click on Mark Transfer as Complete. So it updates to 500 out of 500, but only 490 will actually be available for sale on our site. And you might just about be able to make out a little red dot on the end of this green bar to indicate that, in fact, not everything went completely according to plan. And then if we scroll down to the bottom here to the timeline, you can see here you accepted items in a shipment and then you rejected some as well. And if I were to click into these, you get a little bit more detail about exactly what we did. So we rejected 10 of them. So I hope you can see that actually it's very easy to add in any kind of transfer from any of the suppliers that you might have while you're working within your store. So what I'm going to do now is add in one more transfer, and I'll see you in a moment when I'm done, because I just want to show you the summary transfer screen, and having two transfers is just going to make this demonstration a little bit more complete. Okay, I'm back, and now when I click on the transfers in the menu here, you can see that I've added in a second transfer, and this time just to show you, I did it for our stunning dog pendant. So I've added an additional 500 items to the stock. Okay, and this time none of them were broken, so everything was good. And you can see that as well. If I go now to the products, you can see here that I've got 530 in stock, because now I've just added 500, of course, to my existing 30. And over here with a super cute dog pendant, we're up to 590. So we're really in good shape to start receiving a lot of buyers. So the next thing we want to look at is the inventory, or the inventory, depending on where you're from, okay? So let me just scroll down here, because you're going to understand this one very quickly, especially with all the things that we've already looked at. So clearly we've got down here all of our products, including the variants. And then obviously it's telling us how many are available at any one time, so we can keep an eye on our inventory. Now clearly if I clicked on this I'd be into my product itself, but there's two additional things that I want to show you on this screen. First of all, incoming. Now this relates to just what we looked at. So if we had an incoming transfer from somebody, we had made a transfer, we were expecting something on a certain date, then that would show up in this list. And in fact with it showing 0, if I click on here now, I get the opportunity to add a transfer, and if I were to do that it would take us to the transfer screen that you've just seen. The second thing is I can edit the quantity available at any time, and I can do that with two functions. I can either use add or I can use set. So by default it's add. So let's imagine I wanted to add an additional 5 to the availability of this product. All I would need to do is to click in here and go up more to 5. Just to show you as well, I could actually reduce the number down as well. Okay, but let's add 5 in, like that, and click on save. So now I have 55 available. If I didn't want to fiddle around with that and I simply wanted to change the availability to, let's say, 120 for this one, I can click on set here and then just change this number directly to 120 and click on save. And really that's about it for the inventory. I mean, just a really simple and powerful system to allow you to keep an eye on what's going on with all of your products. So in this next lecture, we're going to be looking at collections. And I've been saying quite a lot when I'm talking about collections that don't worry, we'll come back to that, we'll come back to that. Well, this is the moment when we're coming back to it. So as I think I've already said, in fact, a collection is simply a logical grouping of products. So you go onto Amazon and things are grouped into logical categories, or as Shopify calls them, collections. And we can create any kind of collection and we can put any kind of product into any kind of collection. So we have full flexibility. Now by default, and as you can see, Shopify gives us one collection, the home page collection, which is effectively allows us to show products on the home page, okay, in a featured collection on the home page. And I'll look at that right at the end of this lecture, because what I want to do right now is just think about the sort of collections that we would want for the store that we've so far put together. So these are our products. We have the French Bulldog necklace, we have the Stunning Dog pendant, and we have the Chihuahua Lover pendant as well. So I know that's only 3 products, but I can demonstrate very effectively how collections work even with these 3 products. Because what I could do is create a French Bulldog collection and obviously put my French Bulldog necklace into it, and perhaps any other French Bulldog related products as well as I add them over time. I could also create a Chihuahua collection and the same thing, drop my Chihuahua Lover pendant into that, and if I was adding more Chihuahua products going forward, I would add those to that collection as well. And finally I could create a pendants collection and perhaps just drop my Stunning Dog pendant and my Chihuahua Lover pendant into that, but maybe not my Bulldog necklace because that's more of a necklace than a pendant, if indeed there is a difference. But anyway, I hope you get my point. So let's actually put that together. So let's go back to the collections and click on create a collection. So let me as ever just take you through this page. We can create a title for the collection. Of course we can describe it as well. But what I want to show you down here is to do with the collection type. Okay, we can manually add products to any collection. So just simply drop them in one by one, which is what I'm going to show you how to do. But also at the same time, we could automate the process. So let's imagine that we were adding hundreds and hundreds of products into our store. We could create a rule so that every time they got added in according to certain conditions, which you could set up here, they would be immediately added to this collection. So we wouldn't have to come back and do it manually later on. Going up here towards the top, we have the collection availability, which if I click on this, you're going to see is of course the online store. So we might want to show that on the online store, and then if we had another sales channel, we could opt to show it in that as well if we wished. And if we come out of here, the last thing I think is pretty obvious, we could also associate an image with our collection. So in this example, what I'm going to do is go down here, just make this manual, okay? Go up to the top and create a collection called Bulldog Lovers. I'm going to miss out the description if you don't mind, and I'll also not bother adding an image, but I've no doubt you can figure out how to do that if you so wished. So let's just click on save. And then let's just go back to collections. And here we have our first collection, Bulldog Lovers. Let's create another one. And this one we'll call Chihuahua Lovers. Make that manual and hit save again. And then thirdly, let's add the last collection, which I said could be pendants. Make that manual again, and finally save. So that gives us 3 new collections, including the home page. Now, if we go back to our products, and we go into our fabulous French Bulldog necklace, we can now associate this product with one of our collections. So if I now click in this part here, you see this collections on the right hand side. If I click in here, hey presto, up pops the collections that I just created. So for this one here, I'm just going to put it into Bulldog Lovers. So let's click on save for that one. Go back to the products. For the Chihuahua one, let's put him into Chihuahua Lovers, and we'll also keep it on the home page. You're going to see how that works in a moment. So we'll save that. And then for our last product, we want to put it into pendants. So our collection here will simply be pendants. And I realize, in fact, that I should have also added that Chihuahua one into the pendants as well. So let's go back and do that. So back to Chihuahua. Okay, it's on home page and Chihuahua Lovers, but let's add it to the pendants as well, because it is a pendant. And so now, just for completeness, when I go back to collections, if I were to click on, for example, pendants, what you're going to see down the bottom here are the products that I've added into this collection. Okay, so it all ties together nicely. So this is great. We've organized our products into nice collections within the admin system, but on the actual website itself, really we see no difference at all. So what we want to do now is let our users easily find our products according to the collections that we just created. And a cool way to do that would be to have underneath this catalog here some sort of submenu showing the various collections that we just created. Now to do that, we need to go back to the navigation system. We need to revisit the navigation system that we did some time ago now. So if we go back to the admin system and down to our online store and into the all familiar navigation section, head to the main menu, and we're going to add a menu item. Now the last time we looked at this, we were adding in pages to the menu item. This time we're going to add in a collection to the menu item. So this is pretty cool. So we had a collection called Bulldog Lovers, and now when I click on this link, you see that there's collections in the selection. So if I select that and then click on Bulldog Lovers and then add it, it's added Bulldog Lovers. Now here's something pretty cool. In order to make this a sub-menu item of catalog, all I need to do is to pick this up, drag it, and then just kind of drop it slightly to the right of catalog, so it shows in this manner. You can see that it's now a sub item. And if I click on save and go back to the site and refresh, check it out. We now have a little drop down arrow here. If I click on that, one of the options is, well, the only option is Bulldog Lovers. And if I select that, well, there we go. We have our Bulldog necklace in our Bulldog Lovers collection. Perfect. So let's complete that for the other collections. So back to the navigation, going to add in our menu item, which this time we can call Chihuahua Lovers. Go find the collection. There it is. Add it in. Drop it underneath the Bulldogs. And then we can add another one in, and this time we'll call it pendants, and take the pendants collection. I'm sure you're getting the hang of this now. So add that one in, and because I added it from there, it's automatically added it into the catalog menu. So that's absolutely perfect. Now if we save this, go back to our website, scroll up, and let's just go to the home page and open up this menu item now. Now we see Chihuahua Lovers, Bulldog Lovers, and pendants. So we've already looked at Bulldog Lovers. Let's check out Chihuahua Lovers. Okay, that's brilliant. And within pendants, we should expect to see two of our items, our two pendants. And there they are. So I hope you can see how super cool and super easy it is to organize your products into collections and then display them accordingly on your website. Now, I did say at the beginning of this lecture that I would come back to the concept of the homepage collection. And if we were to click in this now and scroll down, you can see that we have one of them added to the homepage, as we did just a few moments ago. But if I go back to the site and go to the homepage and scroll down, we don't see anything showing on the homepage at all. And that's because we haven't yet set the homepage collection to be the featured collection. So how would we do that? Well, what we actually need to do is to go back into our theme in order to change a small setting. So if we go back to the admin, go to the online store, click on our Customize button to bring up our theme editor, and then go to our featured collection. Now here you can see we get the option to select a collection. So if we select this, I can now make this the home page. Select it, save it, and I think you know exactly what's going to happen. If we go back to the site now, go up to the top just to do a full test, click on refresh, and scroll down. Guess what? Here we go. The featured collection has our one product. But I'm sure you can imagine how over time we would add more and more products to our homepage collection and show those products that we really wanted to show off on our homepage. So there we go, that wraps up this collection lecture, and in the next lecture we're going to be looking at making some finishing touches to the homepage. So this is going to be the final lecture in this section, and all I want to do here is just make a couple of changes to the homepage just to tidy it up, just to finish it off. And this is going to be very basic, and with all the knowledge that you've now got, this kind of stuff is super simple. I really hope, as I've said a couple of times now, you're starting to appreciate how much knowledge you're gathering here as you progress through the course. So what are the changes that we want to make? Well, there's the first one, which is simply adding a button in here, a call to action button. We looked at this earlier on when we were looking at the debut theme. So now we want to actually go back and add that in so we have a button that will go straight to our product page. And then the second thing I want to do is simply finish this off, this image with text. So I want to drop a nice image in here, and that's going to create a really great looking homepage. Okay, there's still tons of stuff we can do. You've seen how powerful the theme editor is and all the options it gives us, but what I'm showing you here gets you off to a really, really good start. So let's have a look and see how we will do that. So I'm already in my theme editor, and what I need to do first is to go to this section here, the Welcome to Daily Dog Delights part. I then want to scroll down, and you remember this button label, I'm sure. So I could type in here something that has kind of got a feel of a call to action. So something like discover more or shop now or whatever it might be. So having chosen the button label, I then want to link it. And in this case, I now want to link it to my products. Now I could go straight to a specific product, but logically it's probably better to go to the all products straight from the home page. So you see now we have this discover more. So let's just save that. Go back to the site, scroll up to the top, refresh, usual thing. And now we have this discover more button. And when I click on it, it goes to my products page. Perfect. Now let's see what we can do with that image with text section. So let's come out of here, go into the image with text. And obviously this layout is perfect for highlighting some kind of product. So to do that, let's choose those little bulldogs because I quite like those. So let's go to select image, and then usual thing, I'll upload it from my PC and I'll see you in a moment when I'm done. Okay, so there they are. Select them. Then we could write some kind of heading, like for example, check out these super cute bulldogs, maybe an exclamation mark. And then in the text we could write something like this. So let's just take that out. I proposed a bit of this. Okay, so here we go. We've just added these fabulous bulldog necklaces to the site. Get them while I last, as there is only limited stock. Okay, obviously you can write anything you want. I'm just coming up with stuff off the top of my head. And then we want to link that also to a call to action. So we could write, in this case, shop now, and then link that to the actual bulldog product. So let's go to products. There's our fabulous French bulldog. And now all we need to do is save back to the site and go to the home page. And now when I scroll down, check it out. I got a really nice presentation for these little bulldogs. And when I click on Shop Now, it takes me straight to them. So massive congratulations for getting to this point. I really, really mean it. And I hope you're super excited about Shopify and everything that it has to offer. Now in the next section, we're going to go up yet another gear because we've actually kind of exhausted everything we can do with the free trial period. And I'll be explaining that in the next lecture.